CPSI is the Creative Problem Solving Institute, affectionately known as CPSI, by people who have been attending since 1955. Our longest attendee is Bea Parnes, who's the wife of one of our founders, and we've been going for quite some time. So the conference really started as a brainchild of Alex Osborne, who is one of the initial founder who created the Creative Education Foundation, and he really wanted to bring people together to talk about and learn creativity. He was one of the original advertising madmen, the O in BBDO, and he believes everyone is creative and that they can learn to be more creative. And so he developed the Creative Problem Solving Institute explicitly to bring people together to talk about creativity and learn skills to practice it. Since that time, it has evolved. We have a process called the Creative Problem Solving Process, and it is an explicit way of teaching people how to both diverge or brainstorm on ideas, but then also converge and bring them together. So it's like driving a car. You need the gas pedal and the brake, not at the same time, but in alternation. And so that's basically the Reader's Digest version of the process, kind of unlocking all those great ideas and then bringing them together in such a way that you can have something actionable that leads to innovation. So at the conference, we welcome people who teach creative problem solving, design thinking. We have a very big tent approach to different kinds of creativity. And we have experts from all around the world who come in to teach people how to unlock their creativity with explicit processes and skills and tools that they want to use in their lives, whether it be at work or at home or in their personal lives. And we find that there's often a lot of overlap, that people will come because it's a business thing that they're doing. They're trying to work with their team better, and they often get something really personal out of it, some personal development, and vice versa. People may come because they were just seeking and they were looking for something different to do, and they find that they can really apply the principles that they learn here to have a better workplace or a better family life. So it's a little bit of everything, but the thrust is really explicit skills you can do to unlock your natural creativity and apply it in the way that you need it applied in your life. The idea of the first step of kind of the creative process is brainstorming and really divergent thinking. And there's explicit rules around that. And sometimes people give a little guff about brainstorming. They say it doesn't work. Well, it doesn't work if you don't couple it with convergent thinking. If you're just spitballing all the time and you have no intention to use it in any practical way, then it is just a creative exercise. So we're very explicit about, yes, we have room for that thinking. We have room for you to seek the wild and crazy idea, to say the random thought, to really explore all the potential. And then once you have those ideas, ways of kind of converging on those ideas, bringing them together, either by yourself or in a group, so that you come to something that is really refined and you can deploy it. You can make that idea or those ideas, transform them into action. And the end product of that, in many cases, is an innovation, whether that is a thing that is made that is innovative or a way of attacking a problem that is innovative. I had a friend, one of our great leaders who's here this week, she described it this way, and I love it. If you've ever had Pez candy, the Pez dispensers, like you can't cheat to the bottom candy, like you gotta flip all those candies out in order to get to the bottom one. Creativity, it gets you to the great idea, and that great idea is 30 ideas down. So it's like getting to that bottom creative idea at the bottom of the Pez can. You have to go through the process to flip those other candies out to get to the one at the bottom. And the kicker is you have to do it every time. And this is where creative problem solving really is a practice and a process. You don't learn it once and apply it once and then you're done. It's a way of approaching the world. It's a way of pushing aside the noise so that you can unlock ideas, you can riff off other people, you can collaborate together to think of things that you wouldn't have done on your own, that you wouldn't have done if you hadn't made space for it in your life, and get that all out there, but then really practical tools by which you can take those many ideas and converge them down into something that feels exciting that you can do. And that's what we try to teach people. We really believe in playfulness and humor. I think of the kids in who come in and enjoy our YouthWise program. They're better at this, right? So they're closer to their playfulness, and that really unlocks creativity. So I say when people come here, they're definitely coming to learn something. They go to workshops, they go to classes, and they learn stuff. But they also learn things in different ways, which I think disrupts how we look at wisdom, how we look at training. So people come here and do real work. I mean, they're pretty tired by the end of the week, but they laugh a lot. And they meet a whole lot of other people who are on the same journey. And that is, you kind of find that you're not alone, that you're seeking something, you're seeking to do more with your life. And this provides a path for it. So I think there's a complex array of experiences people have here. They have fun, they meet lifelong friends. In the time that I've been here, I know 2 committed relationships that have happened. People meet their wives and husbands here. I'm not promising that, but it does happen. CPSI love is a thing. People come together and they enjoy their time here and they enjoy each other. And I think they find that kind of enjoyment and fun and playfulness gives people access to kind of untapped depths in themselves. It kind of gives them permission to be vulnerable and ask that question, is it time for me to change my job? Is it time for me to write that book? Is it time for me to think bigger in my life? And the environment we create here, which is playful, but it's also serious. And that is what is fostered. I had a favorite professor who once said to me, if you've made them laugh, you've made them listen. There is a lot of laughter here. We do, improv comedy is a big part of what we do. There's a connection you make with a person when you're using humor in all the best ways, right? It's not sarcasm, it's not meant to diminish, but if you're using a callback or a laugh to kind of say like, I see you, you see me, you get that connection with them and it opens up the opportunity to collaborate. You're already in it together. So there's something really powerful about play, about humor, and about convening together and being part of the creative process. It's an amazing common denominator at the conference. So people may come for the business bit. They may come because they're in some transition in their lives and they will find an array of other experiences and connections with people that buoy them, that will help them when they go back and think, I have that in me and I can evoke that in other people. And I do have influence in my life and in my world to make really cool changes. One of the common denominators I see is that people are seeking. They're seeking and they're striving. They're looking to have more in their lives. More, maybe it's more success, maybe it's more joy. So we get a lot of people seeking, and there are people from last year 31 different countries and all different career fields and all different ages. But there is that desire to learn, that desire to know more about themselves. So I think part of the journey, or part of the similar journey people are on here, is that these are folks that want to know more about themselves and their world. And they're willing to invest their time to learn tools and skills that will help them unlock parts of themselves that they maybe have an inkling of, but haven't been able to fully manifest. So I think it's a group of seekers who are really looking to make something bigger in their lives, and they're willing to put themselves in this kind of eclectic environment to provoke that in themselves. And what they find when they get here and when they step into the ambiguity of this space, that they're doing creativity by that very act. They're stepping into the unknown, which is the place from which courage and fear and joy can come, but in a generative way. One of my favorite memories is my very first year here, I was in our springboard class, which is basically Introduction to Creative Problem Solving. And so I was taking that class, and there was a gentleman in the class, and he was a C-suite corporate guy from a local company. He was lovely, but he, came to the first day, like typical conference, buttoned up. He's got a suit on, and as we're going through the day, like every day, the next day the tie was loosened. The next day, no tie on. The next day, he wasn't wearing his jacket, and by the end, he's just wearing his casual jeans and a regular shirt. And I saw this kind of physical manifestation of him kind of relaxing into what he was learning and kind of getting unbuttoned in a way, literally, so that he was taking things in, and it was shifting the way he was dressing, literally, but also the way he was kind of settled into himself. He just seemed kind of more relaxed by the end. And so that's a very kind of specific physical description, but I thought it was an amazing kind of manifestation of what I think a lot of people go through here. There are people that have been coming for 10, 15, 30 years. Bea Parnes will be here. This is more than 60 times she's been to this conference. And so there's some people who are really, this is coming home for them. This is the oasis. This is where they come to recharge. They know about it. CPSI is something that they regard with affection. And then there are people who are new to it, and they make this discovery like, wow, I'm not alone. I'm not alone on this journey. I'm not crazy for wanting more. I'm not crazy for wanting to take this big step. I'm not crazy for going to this thing. This is a thing that people do, and I'm with them, and I have this partnership. So there's a community that's created here, and I will caution, like, I don't want it to feel like it's a tribe or anything. I mean, people have that feeling like, oh, I found my tribe, and that's cool, but it's really important that we bring this out into the world. And what I want to see happen with this organization is not that we retreat into this world of creativity, which is exclusionary. I don't want that. I want to see people come to this world and say, oh, I can make this manifest in myself, and then I can bring it out. Right? I can go back to my life with my office mates who didn't come to this conference, and I can share some things that I learned, and we can communicate better. Even if they don't get it, I can just start enacting some of the things I've learned, and things will naturally shift. And they have that ability to go back into the world. So I don't want people just to uncover their creativity. I want them to uncover their creative leadership. For a long time, we didn't do themes, and I really felt like we needed a unifying concept or idea that was playful, but also could give people a way to focus when they come here, because a lot gets stirred up. And so having kind of a pole star to kind of contextualize the experiences and feelings that they're having is really critical. So Unexpected really celebrates the importance of ambiguity. And negotiating ambiguity, and this will come up a lot this week. The unexpected is going to happen all the time. We face the unexpected. I was talking to my coworker about the fire marshal coming twice today, and that was unexpected. But you have to be able to deal with that, right? So we run into unexpected things in our lives that may be epic or small, and being able to stand in the face of the unexpected and find a path through that is a critical component of what creative problem-solving skills can give you. It is a guarantee that there will be surprises in life that are pleasant or unpleasant, and how you show up in the face of that, what you can draw on to be strong in that moment is critical. And we learn and we stumble along the way, but if you can be still in a moment of chaos or disruption, if you can stand in front of it and say, how do we move through this? And you're like, you know what I can do? I can observe, or I can call someone in to discuss this, or this requires some creative problem solving or brainstorming, or this means I just need to go to action. When you can face the unexpected with a bunch of tools or strategies to move through that, it changes how you deal with future unexpected events or anxiety. If you move through it already, if you practice creative problem solving, you've got that tool bag, that you can do it. And that's when you start getting into perseverance, right? So the people who have persevered and gone through really challenging things to rise above, you don't do that once. Like, you persevere through lots of things, and you'll hear these amazing stories of people just roadblock after roadblock. And the people that really can face ambiguity and the unexpected, they're like, okay, roadblock, I'm going around. And they find a way. We can all find that way. It doesn't mean it's pretty. Sometimes when you face really challenging, unexpected things, it's sloppy. Courage is sloppy. It's got a runny nose and bleary eyes. But it's moving through that. That is the courage. It's not a pretty thing, but it's the thing that brings you to solution, or just knowing who you are. So we're celebrating kind of unexpected, and we're going to evoke moments of unexpected activities. I should share with you the notes from the planning meetings because they're pretty hilarious. There may or may not be a shark on a tether at some point. But just surprising people with the unexpected to kind of echo that larger journey of facing ambiguity. So in the small ways of introducing the unexpected, we're going to jostle people out of all the things buzzing in their heads of the real life so that they can, in a safe way, be invited into negotiating ambiguity. And that becomes the skill that they can use the big moments. It's very hard for us to take the time to step away from all the things that we have to do. Families and work responsibilities and all of that. It is so hard to step away and just take that time. But that step back, even though it feels like you're losing time or it's a pause you can't afford, it can generally be the thing that unlocks the stuck place that allows you to zoom forward afterwards. And I made a conscious effort to walk my own talk with that. And last weekend, even though it was the weekend before CPSI, which is a very busy time, I told my friends if they threw a writer's retreat at my other friend's retreat center that I would go. And they said, well, it's this weekend. And it was very tempting for me to say, I have too much to do. But I've been trying to write a book for some time. And I made myself go on this retreat because I made promises to friends, and I took that time out. And I wrote the introduction and started all the chapters, and I'm ready to go. And I've got someone who's interested in publishing. So by taking that time out, I was able to embrace my own creative life and jump ahead. And who knows where that will end up, but it was important for me to make that commitment, and it unstuck me. So I would love people to come to CPSI and see what is that thing that needs to be shaken loose in their lives. What is the gift they can give to themselves by taking that time out? What is the gift they can give to their company, their business, to taking that time to stepping out and learning how to grapple with challenge better, work with others better, so they can go back home and jet forward.